Here we go. Hurry up. Good morning, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, lift off. What is this? Are we counting down? Oh, look at this. Talk 5 countdowns. Yes, paper is out. Although with adjustments, interesting. Up on the fridge door this morning, there's 4 yellow dots. Ishikawa-san, Dei-chan, Suga-san, and Kawai-san. But I got 2 emails this morning. Cancel. Ishikawa-san canceled. She's going to come tomorrow instead. And Suga-san canceled. She's still got a cold. You heard her yesterday. She canceled 2 days ago, tried to come yesterday. It didn't really work, so she's canceled again today. So only 2 packs came out of the fridge this morning. We're still on the same block here. Yesterday we were up here on the twigs and stuff, but I think just to change things up, I'm going to go back down to this bottom here and do some more work at the bottom. The whole block still has to be done, but just to try and change things up so we're not doing the same thing exactly every day on the stream. So I still have to do it all, of course, but there's a few things to mention today. I know I should do one before I forget. I had an interesting email this morning from France. There's a young man who was here a couple of years ago. Let me pop a link in here. Is this the link? Hang on a sec, just a moment. Yeah, here we are. I assume that will work. I got a young Frenchman, who was here a couple of years ago. A Japanese TV program was looking for examples of people overseas who were studying and learning and struggling to learn stuff about Japanese culture. And somehow they got a hold of this guy, and he's overseas and he's doing work with woodblock printmaking. He doesn't like carving. He came here to show me his stuff. He'd done some stuff with laser cutting, and then he had printed it as close as he could get to the traditional style. The TV program brought him over here and took him to a workshop, not here. They took him to some other printmaking workshop to give him some training in printing. And he dropped by here to say hello before he went back overseas, because he's been using our materials and website and stuff like that. And this, it seems, is his newest print. And it looks pretty spectacular. And I don't know anything else about it. Did he carve it by hand? Did he carve it with the laser technique he was using that he showed me before? I haven't had time this morning to poke around the website and see what it's all about. All I saw was the picture there. Very much influenced, of course, by Hase. Did the link get through? Yeah. I think his name is Benoit, B-E-N-O-I-T. I think he's using a different art name or something for the picture there, Beno or something like this. But his name was Benoit, however you pronounce it, B-E-N-O-I-T. And he lives somewhere in France. I don't know any more details than that. And he was a real nice guy. He was a bit embarrassed when he came here, or at first he was a bit embarrassed. He was worried about coming here because he was afraid that I'd be upset because he was using lasers to do the carving and stuff. I could care less, I'm not going to do that, but I'm not going to get upset because somebody else does. He just simply, I guess he liked printing, the idea of putting color on paper, but didn't like mucking around with knives and things. So at that time he was carving with lasers. I don't have any idea if this current print was done that way. You'd have to look for more information. Everybody's quiet today, including me. Get some work done here. Today I'm behind the 8 ball now on this, you know. I'm really behind the 8 ball. Jed was here yesterday. He checked out around just afternoon, in the early afternoon. He went over to the convention center, the big Makahari Convention Center, to get set up. I guess he's running up now. The Tokyo Comic Con starts this morning. So I guess they probably haven't opened the doors yet. He's probably getting ready. And he's going to run the show all by himself. 4-day show. A giant con. 3-day show. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Going to run it by himself. We offered to try and get some staff members out there with him, but he doesn't want to bother us, of course, you know. He knows we're all busy here. So it was impossible to convince him to let us send a person over there. Visitor yesterday, a request, a bit of an unusual request. It was a TV request that came in. That's not unusual. We get those all the time. But this was unusual. It was a Chinese company that's here in Tokyo, Japan. They're preparing some kind of documentary program for Chinese TV. The production company is part of the Tencent organization. It's one of those giant media / shopping or whatever conglomerates. And they're making a documentary film about a particular aspect of Japanese history. This is fun. Chinese company makes documentary about Japanese history, so I wonder where that's going to go. What they're doing, it's this year, I think it's this year or next year, I forget, this year I guess. It's 150 years of the Meiji Restoration in Japan. It's, I can't, is that what somebody can check from? I think it's 150 years since the beginning of Meiji, which is why they were interested in making a program about the Meiji Restoration. And as part of making this program, they're here in Tokyo looking up all kinds of stuff and looking for experts on different aspects of the Meiji era and stuff like that. And they wandered around here looking for somebody to advise them and give some expertise and stuff on woodblock prints and something back in that era. So they're going to come back and talk some more. I'm not quite sure how to handle this. A TV request is no big deal for us, but the idea of a Chinese company making a program about Japanese history. In other words, what sort of stuff are they going to talk about and claim and whatever? I don't know. Woodblock prints are not a very controversial subject, but so we'll see. We'll chat with them a bit more, and if they can give me some assurance that there's going to be nothing controversial discussed. Ready show and tell today. Yeah, I got one. I got a book. I think there was something I was supposed to do with show and tell last week, but I forgot. We didn't get around to it. So if you remind me when Cameron gets here, I've got a book at the back that we could maybe have a look at. I think that was a question in the box, right? Oh. Yeah, mountain cherry is what we're using. So. Did I hear a question in the box there? Let's have a look. Twitch questions. Well, it's a generic question. What's the worst mistake I ever made while carving? I know it's a long story, and I can't tell the whole story again here. There's a video. We made a specific YouTube video about a mistake in which I had to recarve a whole block, a whole set of blocks. But it's too long to tell here. I mean, there's been mistakes. There's little mistakes, chipping something here, chipping something here. And there's been big mistakes. I mean, I've been at this for, what is it now, 40 years, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, there's stuff happens over a period of 40 years. If you want to follow up, in our YouTube channel, there's a video, I forget the title, something about coutier, carving a coutier, or making a coutier reproduction. And that's the story about redoing a block, a whole major block, easily like a month of work that had to be redone. So. This corner of the block's hard down here. Frequently the blocks are hard on the corners. You know. We use the middle of the plank for the middle of the tree, but down at the edges here, this is really hard and brittle. I could easily break this if I'm not careful. Or break my knife. sure what's in here and what's out. What am I doing? What's out? So now what's in? What's out? It's this one. I think the ground is perhaps ready. Let's have a look. Sorry to ignore you guys, but you know, it's work, work, work. Here we go. What we've just done, the area down here that you've seen now, this is the area that's on the left-hand side here. It's the paving stones. Fridge, I was supposed to bring it downstairs, wasn't I? Sorry about that. Okay, whatever, the stuff I can remember. Fridge at the moment is still upstairs. Okay, now the paving stones are done. Let's get back up the top. The temple area is finished, I guess, I think. A bit more tree here maybe, and then back up to the twigs. So let's get back up where we left off yesterday. What time is it? 8:35. Cameron should be here not too far away. Edgewater Casino. I'm not a casino type person, I'm sorry. I've been once to one of those places. My parents used to do it as a recreational kind of deal. They'd have their little $20 bet every time and stuff like that. And I went once with them and they gave me this, I think my mother said the place is gone now, I think. But yeah, it's funny, I'm sitting here wearing this. I was on TV with this a while back, and it's funny. I'm sitting here advertising a casino that doesn't exist, and I'm not a casino type person, so I'm sorry about that. I should maybe get some new clothes perhaps now and then. Oh, look who's here, look who's here, look who's here. Oh, Bertie, come on. Morning, sir.
Hello. Back downstairs for the skiing.
So, how was your trip today?
Uneventful. So that's good.
No late slip today?
No late slip today. Am I late? Yeah.
It's a real quiet stream today. I'm just kind of, I've been ignoring them. I'm sorry. I think they've been chatting about this and that a little bit,
Okay.
but I've been ignoring them. So we're talking about learning Japanese, which you can maybe help them with. Who knows?
Maybe.
But do we dare move this thing?
Do we dare move this?
Every time we touch it,
Or think about touching it.
yeah, we think about touching it. Every time we turn this thing, the plugs are normal plugs. There's a, what's it
Yeah.
called? Not a, it's a Thunderbolt? No,
Yeah, I think.
a Thunderbolt plug and a USB-C or something, whatever. That's the one. It's the one with the net. It's not the USB. So if I try and hold it, that's just power. Doesn't matter, right?
Right. That's
I'll hold this just perfectly tight as I can. Let's rotate.
okay.
Did we make it? Anything go down? Red?
Don't do it. Kantar says. Are we
still
still
says
okay
green.
over here?
I think so, right? It's that one. It's this one. These commercial consumer grade plugs are just so wobbly and wiggly.
Yeah.
Right?
So far, so good. All right. I think
So
we're in
good we made it.
business.
Good. Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Getting closer on this one.
I worked just one. I finished at the bottom, the tiles and stuff.
Oh,
I did.
okay.
I'm
Nice.
halfway through, so I'm now back up to the twigs. Jed was here. You know, he saw yesterday. Saw me doing. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry about that, Dave." You know?
I'm sorry about that,
Oh,
Dave.
no, you don't have to apologize for design. You know?
Yeah. Wow, Mr. Bull, you look so young when you shave your beard. Yeah. That's what they said.
What are you, about 1/3 my age or something?
I don't think it's quite that far, but
Oh, yeah, Deja, when she came last year, she was 1/4 my age. God, that hurt.
that's right.
How many employees here? 1/4 my age.
Yeah.
Functional employees doing stuff.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. I guess Jed's up on the show. We're setting up. We're getting
Yeah,
ready
it
for the
must
first
be.
day.
Yeah, I think he had a short one last night for just media.
Was there? Okay.
Yeah, and then
Today's
today,
3 days.
what, it starts at 10 o'clock or something like that. It's the big show.
Tough way to make a living.
Yeah.
He sent me an email this morning. He met somebody there during the setup.
Oh.
I guess the company who does this stuff like the limited edition woodblock prints of Star Wars and
Right,
things like
right.
that. I guess they're there.
Huh.
The guy came and talked to him. I want to do something with us. Something like this.
Backstabber. No. No. Interesting. Ah, your mother is in. Someone said, I see you're in the chat. Greetings at Pet Bull. And she said, yes, this is a quiet time for me. So I watch for a little while. Great. You can VIP somebody. I don't know what that means. Make them a very important person. Maybe give some special privileges or something. But they're saying you should probably VIP your mother.
Is that, remember, I'm not a partner, I haven't
Yeah.
upgraded my channel to the kind of associate or affiliate or partner, whatever it's called, I forget the name. So
Yeah.
I still have a Common Garden open basic stream. VIP. Is my mother a VIP?
I'd say so.
When I'm over there in February, I haven't booked the flight yet. I'm booking it soon, so I should book it maybe this week or something before the tickets get out or whatever.
Jump up.
When I'm over there, we'll have to do some kind of stream together.
Oh, that would be so fun.
So, if she's okay with it.
Someone says, I think we were supposed to remind Dave about show and tell.
Oh yeah, I got a book here. Okay, what time is it now?
8:45, so still some time. Don't know if you want to stop carving and then restart carving again later, or...
I was a little reticent about showing it because I don't know exactly what it is that I've got. So now, before I do that, I posted in the stream the other day here the Okada Yoshio prints, the set of 4.
Right.
I showed them in my own YouTube video, the beginnings YouTube video. And another set came up on Yahoo Auction the other day.
Right.
And I posted about it to the stream here because I myself wasn't going to be bidding on it because I knew it was going to be too expensive.
Yeah.
And it ran out last night with 150,000 yen. It's about 14 grand.
Yeah.
So, which is I guess about what that set is now becoming worth. Or
Wait, $1,400, right?
1,400.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, so 140,000 yen for
Yeah.
$1,400. Which is about, I think it's a good bargain for somebody.
Yeah.
I can't even think remotely about paying that much for it to sell in the shop.
Right.
Because we need a margin, but there it was. So that's it. That's it now. The days of being able to scoop one cheaply, 30 or
Gone. It's all your fault.
It's all my fault. Yeah, no, I get it. It's all my fault. Yeah, so.
You also have a set of prints upstairs we might want to show people. The triptych.
But that's on the shop. I don't want to
Right.
sit here and do TV
Okay.
shopping or whatever it's called. So this is something that won't be for sale.
All right.
I don't know how much of the show and tell to do when there's stuff in the shop. We updated it. Well, what Cameron's talking about is we put the flea market back into life. He and I spent some time scanning and updating prints. So the flea market on the Mokuhakan website has now actually come back to life with a bunch of stuff in it.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to get into a situation where I'm sure, here's today's special item, click
Yeah.
now. I really don't want to do that. So.
Okay.
So this thing today, this is not something we're going to sell. This is for my own collection. But it came in last week. And as I said, I'm a bit reticent about showing it because I don't actually know who designed it. There is no name anywhere on the thing. And what it is, it's an album. These were common in the Meiji time, an album. I know Cameron said we should have done some research.
Yep.
I know Fuzoku de Sho. I don't know what the 5th kanji is. I know Fujin Janai. Fujin, Fuzoku something Zen. I don't know what this is. It's a very common type of album of the day, in that it's a set of 12 prints. The album is basically seasonal, one scene from each of the 12 months. It shows women in pretty well-off women,
Yeah.
not middle-class women, upper-class women doing stuff at home to show lifestyle, and to show the other people who are, not so well-off and whatever. It's like a fashion magazine, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of like, what are the rich people doing in their home? How do they dress their tables? What do they do with their free time? Calligraphy and blah, 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 whatever. It's kind of a life manual for showing women what other women were doing, Remember, this is an era when there's no newspaper, magazine, TV, pictures. There's no nothing. Nobody has any idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And this is in Meiji time. This society is in total restructuring. It's no longer a feudal society.
Right.
People are establishing their status in society, their classes, who's going to do what. People are starting businesses. The wife of the businessman, what do I do? How do I entertain people? What's going on? It's sort of the equivalent of a fashion / architecture / best living, how you arrange your furniture, all that kind of stuff wrapped into one. And there were dozens and dozens and dozens, hundreds of these kind of albums published. And this set of 12. And it looks, going by the faces and stuff we'll see as we go through it, it looks like Chikanobu, who is a well-known designer of the day. So it's either from him or from his studio, generically. And are we seeing? I can't see the screen
Yeah.
again. So are we in a good
it's
view
looking
here?
great.
They're double page spreads, and they're really, really done quite nicely at the beginning of the book here. It's interesting. No, it's whatever. I know it's in an era where there's
qualifier.
qualifier, because we're going to see some strange colors towards the end of the book, and it's made in an era where they're changing. It's the old ukiyo-e is dying and passing away. This is by this time there's already printing presses here doing different kinds of lithographs and stuff like that. So it's in a mixed era, and we'll see pigments here and there in the book that just would not have been used, combinations of colors that would not have been used back in the Edo-type. But it's work to die for. I know, rich coloring, the carving, the details. I don't know are we in the right direction of the light? We can see Karazuri patterns on here.
Zoom in a little bit to see that Karazuri. Or bring it up, yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to lose my...
Because that is beautiful.
Are we seeing it here? So this is all Karazuri embossed patterns. And every one of these prints is full of Karazuri and embossed. And the feeling is luxe. They wanted this to look like an expensive deluxe item, and it would not have been cheap, this album. This is not your ukiyo-e bowl of noodles type ukiyo-e anymore. This is an expensive book. And the people who bought this were either, they would have it in their house to sort of show off their own knowledge of this sort of stuff, or they were people who were trying to figure out how it was all done. And what have we got here? I don't know. What is that?
I think it's a dog. I started with confidence and lost it halfway through.
I have no idea what that is. Honestly, I haven't.
Some creature.
It could be a rabbit, it could be a cat, it could be a dog, it could be a ferret. I don't know. You tell me.
Someone, Ken Hallett is confident that it's a dog that looks like a dog, but I'm
not so sure. We're going to open to interpretation. You guys go for your own interpretation.
Another strange furry creature in their arms.
It's
Thanks,
the way,
Kantai.
so that's just what they did. They knew how to do kimono fabrics. They knew how to do faces. They couldn't do nudity. They couldn't do naked limbs, and they couldn't do animals. Just a different way of putting their pigment together.
It looks like Pekingese, maybe.
Whatever, you place your bets. I'm going to stay neutral. Now here, obviously, the point of this one is to show. Here's how you do. The lady's got her brushes, her inkstone, and she's writing probably poetry, going by the vertical small lines here. And I have no idea how many colors. If we were trying to reproduce something like this, we could not even remotely afford it. And there's 12 of these spreads in the album.
Wow.
And this is not household life. They're out here at some kind of festival, right? We have an outside curtain which is used at a festival. There's cherry blossoms. It's maybe part of a spring festival. And the woman is either dressed like a shrine maiden or something. I'm sorry, I don't know the background here. But I guess it's supposed to be at night. There's a candle, so it's supposed to be in the evening. But
entertaining evening.
And I said seasonal, but these are not print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going through the year. We'll see they're mixed. We've got a real mix of seasonal motifs coming here. I think this is ume wood. Is it ume or cherry? This is plum, I think. The little one.
Yeah, they do look.
That's plum, which would have been before cherry.
Yeah.
And then the one before that wasn't even,
no trees at all. So
the Boltahan on the. But we had cherry on here, so I don't know that they're not really specific seasonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 order, but there are 12 of them, and they're generically seasonal. That looks like I would have said it looks like a cosmos, but we've got mixed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So.
And playing with patterns, just birds flying and flowers blooming, and just patterns. This Shomenzuri on here, I don't know if it shows as a reflection in the. If I can find the right angle on the light here.
Yeah. We're asking, is this Western style binding rather than traditional?
This is what they call it, butterfly binding, right? It's just the prints are made flat and then folded in half. So this is not like, remember I showed a little book a while ago where the left half and the right half were carved on different blocks.
Right.
This is one woodblock print made as a single rectangular item, folded inside, and then they're glued at the back, at the corners, with interleaving paper inside.
And it's not one that's reversible? Or
No, there's nothing on the back. It's a straight 12 page. Some of those...
Some of them are...
It will be 12 on the front and 12 on the back, or 6 on the front, 6 on the back. But no, this is...
Okay.
And the inner paper's terrible. It's awful, pulpy crap. And that's a problem, because you can't take this apart.
Yeah.
I could take it apart, but it would be really in danger of destroying it. And what book dealers frequently do here in the Jimpocho district is they'll get a book like this, and they will. They'll sort it out and take it apart and sell them one by one. Because you'll find any number of people who are willing to buy, say, an original Meiji print of beautiful women like this for, say, I'm just going to make up a number, $150 or something.
Yeah.
But there's 12 of them. The amount of people who buy the book for $1,500 is
Way less,
negligible.
yeah.
Negligible. You know, so many of these books are broken. This is New Year. Haguita with a battle door. And again, we have our oxidized pigments.
Yeah.
Lots of open space now. Lots of huge open space. And here we get some of now. This is the pigments. These are not anywhere near ukiyo-e type pigments. This is a passion pink. What can you call it? I don't know. You know, it just doesn't make any sense.
Hot pink.
And it's deep. This is like something from a Shinhanga era.
Yeah.
There's no way you would have seen these pigments in these combinations back in the ukiyo-e time.
Interesting.
And Michael, they just don't match. There's no blend. There's no palette here at all. It's just, to anybody who has any sense. Yeah, it is. It's so. And I think in that era, they had new pigments available, and they were just saying, my God, let's, blow it out. Let's go crazy. Yeah. And maybe the people who are buying it, oh my God, these beautiful, new, spectacular, wonderful, modern colors, They totally lost all sense of taste.
Yeah. Marumarushi asks, is that inner paper also made from mulberry, do you think? Or
No.
They're saying, would cellulose paper have leached acid into the prints?
No idea. So it's just pulpy crap. Nothing.
Okay. And if you decide to put this in a future museum or exhibition space, how would you display such an album? Or could you? What would you do with something?
You can't. I mean, all the museums, the British Museum has a huge collection of Japanese books. Jack Hillier left his collection to them. They've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beautiful Japanese books.
Right.
And they can't display them per se.
Leave them open to one print.
This one could. This one, because it's not bound together, I could.
It does spread out.
It spreads out. You could actually. It's not bound at the spine. So we could actually put this thing all on a big laid table, and so people can see the whole thing. Some books don't do that. This one does. So it's an album rather than a book.
Okay.
But what do museums do with this sort of stuff? Whatever. They're in the back room for the most part. They might include this in an exhibition opened to a certain page so people get an idea. And a good museum, or one with the time and resources, will let researchers come in and look at these things in the back room. My own experience is the British museums, the Victoria and Albert, the British Museum. They've been friendly to me. I haven't been there recently, but it's when I was last there in about 2002. They let me in the back room, and here's your white gloves, and go through this stuff. The American museums, I approached the Art Institute of Chicago, the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, and they both didn't even reply to my letters. Nothing.
Didn't you say, was it in Hawaii, one place let you?
Yeah, there's
It's
called the Academy, I forget the exact name, Honolulu Academy of Art or something. They have a huge ukiyo collection left in by James Michener. And at the time, I was making a visit to Hawaii with my daughters for a vacation. This was in like 1997 or something. And one of the guys there, I'd written to them saying, while I'm here, can I drop by? And he knew my work in the smaller albums. So he said, sure, come in the back room.
Huh. Cool.
They were really friendly, and they've got a stupendous collection now. Some of it is turning out to be forgeries because Michener got fooled sometimes, but it doesn't matter. They're spectacular woodblock prints.
Yeah.
This thing, what is happening here? I think there's no doubt this is a cat, but
Cleaning itself.
Cat cleaning itself. Like we need this in a woodblock print. This is a winter print. This is a hibachi. This again would be, I would have guessed something New Year, but these are supposed to be, I don't even know what kind of flower that's supposed to be. What is that?
I don't know.
No idea. So I'm not sure the seasonal too, but it's all I can say is it's winter because of the hibachi and the cat licking itself while a woman watches. Right?
For TV. Just watch animals take care of themselves. I don't know. Interesting.
I'm also a bit curious about this. We've got the koto here with the long part of the strings and the short part of the strings. And somebody in the stream could maybe correct me on this. I always thought, she's got the pickers on her fingers here. And I always thought that when you're playing koto, you picked the long part here. That's the part that's tuned by the string, by the bridges. The bridges move and they make the tuning, A, B, C, D, whatever. And you would mute with the back half here or something. But she's picking at the back half. I remember from playing classic guitar or whatever, you can pick behind the bridge to make some funny sounds.
Right.
But the normal playing is done on the long section of the string. So is this backwards? The artist didn't quite get it, or
I haven't played enough koto to...
Maybe there's somebody on the stream here who knows about this. I don't know. But my first guess, and I'm 100% ready to be proved wrong, My first guess is that there's a bit of artistic license going here. She would normally be picking out here. It's easy to tell. There must be YouTube videos of people playing koto.
Lord Reginald says you pick the short part and press with the long part to
Okay,
change the
there
sound.
you go. All right. Live and learn. Sorry about that. I'll keep quiet. So much
Got
for
it.
that.
They also suggest these may be Tsubaki camellias.
Ah, so it would fit with the January theme. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And then Treadmill 2 posits cats cleaning themselves in their intimate parts is often a hint in Japanese prints of the lady's profession.
But this is not that kind of book. These
Right.
ladies here, none of these ladies are working ladies. None of them. This is not that kind of album. Not by the title, not by the images, not by the hairpieces, not by anything.
Okay.
These are not ladies working in the Yoshiwara. This is an album of house, housewives
Got it.
in a descriptive sense. So I don't think, unless that's trying to be thrown in as a hint, but that's not what these women are doing.
Okay.
And some of the patterns, they've done really nicely. It's just perfectly equivalent to the real thing, the real kind of tie-dyed fabric.
Yeah.
There's embossing on the screen to make it look like a screen. And here we are. They didn't know how to draw cats and dogs, and they also don't know how to draw babies. They look like funny little China dolls scaled.
Yeah. They just scaled
It's something
adults.
to do with the head shape. On a real baby, the head
It's big.
is big. It doesn't scale down. But what they've done is they've scaled down the heads. They couldn't see what was right in front of them. That babies' heads are bigger than normal heads.
Western artists did the same thing for a long,
Did they?
long
Did they?
time with remember seeing in cathedrals and stuff the baby Jesus is just a mini adult. Like
So it looks like a little doll or some little
Yes.
plastic thing, whatever. So
it's really interesting. It's a hard
and
thing people just didn't
there's a
see it.
question. When you see this, is it a young girl holding a doll, or is it a young girl holding an even younger girl?
Son or your daughter. Or, I mean, not her son.
Yeah, I don't
but
think a doll would have been dressed up that
No.
much. I think it's supposed to be a woman with a daughter or whatever, and a younger one.
Yeah.
But they could not do that. They just scaled everything down in proportion, and it looks so bizarre.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, Iris is right. So this would be, June or something. I don't know. But it's mixed. These also look like, if that's supposed to be cherries, cherries. I don't know what they've done.
Yeah, and they're saying that these flowers are huge. They are huge. What are they? Do you think those would be? They're not
I would have
chrysanthemums,
guessed
but
peonies or something. They're on the show, but I don't know. A million flowers.
yeah.
And then this might be careless printing, or it might be a bit of gradation. I think it's maybe gradation. They put a gradation onto the pattern here.
Kind of imply some shading and variation.
And this one is heavily oxidized, so we don't get much of a sense of look at it. I think this looks like is this woman part of her wedding procession, perhaps? I don't know.
yeah.
Some white gown going to, again, it's supposed to be
Something fancy,
night.
yeah.
Again, there's a light here, so it's supposed to be at night. So
She has the most elaborate headdress compared to the rest.
and then
So I
there's
think she
special
may be,
white in the
yeah.
rest. So, again, at a shrine thing or a wedding, I don't know. It doesn't have the usual sort of headdress thing that you see when you go into weddings, but again, I just stand by. And lots of there's front rubbing all over. I don't guess can we get the shine of this here? I don't know. Can we try to?
Oh, yep, there.
Yeah. The black parts are all heavily shined from the front to give a front rubbing.
They're asking, what are those fish?
This is the publisher's mark. And I'm upside down here. What have we got? Can I turn it around into here? And some of this I can read and some I can't read. And actually, I need my little loop here. This is Meiji. That's a blur. Let me try and find one that's not blurred. Hang on a sec.
What's the name of the publisher? Fukuda? Let's see on my left.
There's a bunch of different names here. There's Fukuda and there's Hasegawa. Yeah, this is Fukuda show.
Yeah.
And what's it? Hatsutaro? The first Taro.
Oh, yes.
Not Chichitaro. The first Taro in the family. What's it called? I don't know how you pronunciation. Chichitaro.
No, not Ichiro, but
And what is this date? Where are we? We're in Meiji. It's such a blur. I'm sorry.
Jukyunen?
Or Ni.
I can't see the beginning
I
because it
can't
is
see
pretty
'cause it's such a
blurred.
blur, so I'm sorry. It could be Meiji 19. It's clear. The 10 and 9 are there.
But it could have a number before it.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be Meiji 19. So, and then the 7th month and the opening day.
July 1st. Meiji 19th. Meiji started 1868.
It's really blurred, I'm sorry. And then it's something, there's Hasegawa something,
1887, something like that.
and then there's the name Fukuda. So I don't know.
Probably late
artist name,
1880s.
But this yells Chikanobu, just it yells and screams Chikanobu. But there's no indication of the designer's name anywhere.
Huh.
Are we done? How many more we got? We got 1, 2.
Those are enormous flowers. More of those peonies.
I don't know, maybe showing off. Because people do, even now, when you go to the autumn festival, the flowers up
They
there.
have flower shows, and those
people
flowers
make
are
big ones.
huge.
Yeah, so I can see that.
Yeah, so I think they're real. I'm just amazed at how big they are.
Ladies played Go, it seems.
Yeah.
I would have thought that was for their husbands and stuff. And they've got tea. And do we have sushi here at Edmonton? I'm not quite sure.
It may be.
But they
It's
might.
even got the fake plastic grass right here.
I kind of don't think so. But, oh, this one's fun. They've got themselves a stand with a basket on top, and it's got a little food cup inside. And she's lifted the cover off, and the birds have flown.
Huh.
But is it inside the house? They're allowed to fly around inside the house, or she's let them go, or whatever. I don't know. And we've got some oxidization. Some of the red, the tan pigments here. This is darker than it would normally be. This is oxidized, heavily oxidized.
So there's also oxidization here in the pink.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it just goes on and on and on. And we've got the interesting thing. Look, that pattern here, crisscross, crisscross, crisscross. There's horizontal, vertical, and I don't know, three angles.
Yeah.
This is carved. This is not 3 different blocks. I got it under I got it under the thing, and you can see there's places where it's popped out.
Yeah.
This is carved on 1 block. There's a bunch of missing places. He did it well, but he wasn't all that careful about it. Pretty rough, bang, 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 which is fine because it gives it a feeling of natural bamboo.
Yeah.
Bamboo works. So this is carved on 1 block. Jump, prints on 1 block. On the next page here, we have a firefly cage. And this is not printed on 1 block. This is verticals and horizontals printed on different blocks, because there is no way you're going to sit there. Anybody's going to sit there. Crisscross, 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 crisscross. So the horizontal ones are quite dark, the vertical ones are quite light.
I can just hear the carver. I hate bird cages.
And this will be summer. We have an Obon lantern from the Obon Festival, which is usually August. And then, of course, we have fireflies, which is, I don't know, depends where you are, June or July.
Oh, okay. Yes, sorry. Yes, English is fine. A reservation at 10 a.m. Let me check. Friday. Are you Jennifer? Is that correct? Okay. Yes, we have you on our schedule. Is that okay with you still?
Sorry, Johnson, phone call.
Okay. If you have it on Google Maps, that's the easiest way to get to us. Yep. Okay. Yep. No problem. Thank you. We will see you soon. Thanks. Yep. Bye. Okay. You never know with phone call which languages.
That reminds me, I know I sent you in the email last night. There was a party reservation came in last night. Have you seen your mail on the train yet? No?
Not yet.
Okay. There's a party reservation last night for a group of 3 for a day next week.
Okay.
And it's the same people who had a reservation yesterday at 1 o'clock for a group of 3 and who didn't show up. And they just didn't show. No phone call, no nothing, just didn't show. And it hurt us because during lunchtime, another group of two people from Hong Kong wanted a party yesterday.
Right.
And we were booked up, we couldn't do it. And they were right here at 12:30. We could have put them in the 1 o'clock party.
Right.
And those 3 people just didn't show up. And now they booked again with no comment, no nothing, just booked again.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, no way, screw you, forget it. Come on. Who would have the balls to do that? Would you do that? Just not show up and then make another reservation and expect the company to just do it again?
Yeah.
So I think I will lose that. Well, I don't know, I shouldn't say whatever. But, let's write back to her and let's ask her for a payment in advance, send her a Square invoice or something.
Yeah.
And maybe plus something for yesterday. She cost us lost business yesterday. And cost 2 people the lost opportunity to have a big partner.
Yeah.
Anyway, no boundaries, no bad.
Yeah.
Here, this is the last pattern in the book. Kids, and these kids look normal. You know, they're close enough. It's when they get a bit smaller than this that the heads become really bizarre.
Yeah.
These kids look a bit normal. So, what are they doing? Playing catch cradle, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. I don't know what's the name in Japanese. I forget. Yeah, there's a name. Something tori, yaritori, shiritori.
Itotori.
No, something. I forget the name.
Okay.
Don't have kids anymore around here. So there we have it. Beautiful, beautiful album. It won't be. No, sorry.
You were saying that these colors in a little bit earlier ukiyo-e art would never have been put together, but do you think people were wearing kimonos with all these various colors in actual life?
Good question. I don't know. My guess would be yes, because the same thing would have been happening to kimono designers. For centuries, they had a standard palette, and then all of a sudden, new dyes and new things are coming in.
Yeah.
And I would imagine the younger people wanted to see those colors and stuff represented in there. You know, I mean, I'm not the expert on fabrics at all here, but I would guess it's the same dynamic was at play.
Got it.
In the kimono world. So yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Interesting. Kodingami. The designer could be Yoshi. Oh.
Yeah, Yoshiharu Chikanobu, yes.
Yeah.
It looks very much like that. And I haven't, if somebody's maybe already clicked on and gone to Google search or something.
Got a Wikipedia right now.
But it just screams Chikanobu. So it's his studio or one of his deshi or him or whatever, I don't know.
Are firefly cages a real thing? I don't think there's something done too often now, but I'm sure that
insect
they've been
cages. Collecting insects and putting them in cages was and still is any Japanese schoolboy now. Absolutely.
Collects beetles.
Collects insects and stuff. Yeah. Bell-mushi, and they don't do it so much for fireflies because fireflies now are sort of an endangered, protected, whatever.
Yeah.
The areas that still have some are cultivating them carefully, so we won't let kids take them. So we won't see fireflies anymore like that. But insects, yes, absolutely.
I'm always surprised by that, how few fireflies are in Japan. Even when I was living in the middle of nowhere, there was one.
Agricultural chemicals.
Yeah.
Next question, that's it. Yeah. Agricultural chemicals.
There was just one neighborhood that had a firefly festival for the few weeks that they showed up.
Up in Niigata, you mean?
Up in Niigata. But growing up in Indiana, we had fireflies all summer long there.
That's a different species, Nate. These are a river firefly. They need clear, clean water in a river to go, and they're extremely sensitive to agricultural chemicals. But it's basically destroyed the firefly population in recent memory. And now, of course, with the collapse of the countryside economy, they're coming back.
Yeah. Kantar thinks that game is Ayatori.
Okay, maybe. I'm sorry, just something like that. It's been many, many years since I had little kids in the house doing that sort of thing.
From what Davis said about housing, Japanese people are also an endangered species. I don't know.
Well, the population is declining, if that's what I mean. I don't think it's endangered at this point, but the population is now in decline, period.
Yeah.
That's well done.
Find a new equilibrium at some other population number. Those are some fine lines on the roof there.
all quiet on the chat front.
So I'm looking back at previous chats, see what you guys talked about. Oh yeah, I mentioned Tencent. What happened with Tencent?
Well, the woman was here. They're making a documentary program for Chinese TV. I guess they have their own channel, I guess. I'm not quite sure what it will be broadcast. And this year is the 150th anniversary of the Meiji Restoration.
Oh, okay.
So it's a historical program about the Meiji Restoration.
Right.
And it's got whatever, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour giant documentary. I don't know the details.
Yeah.
In the middle of it, they're going to cover many, many things about society, among which was woodblock printmaking.
Right.
How it changed, or what happened, or what Meiji was all about in the world of prints. So I've been trying to find an expert here in Japan. The program is going to be made here in Japan, but broadcast in China in Chinese.
I wonder. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
But so the big question mark is like, is this is a commercial broadcaster? It's not the Chinese government doing this, but a Chinese TV program about Japanese history.
Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about Second World War and Nanjing and all that kind of stuff. So I think, is this safe for me to take part in this? I don't know.
Why would China do a documentary about the 150th anniversary?
Well, because it's interesting. I mean, whatever. BBC does documentaries about Persian history, whatever.
okay.
Of course, I mean, it's a thing. There's no argument about that, unless they have a specific political point of view to make.
That's my one.
No idea.
My question. Interesting.
And what she wants is to come here and do a print party with an English-speaking, the Chinese guy, the Chinese historian who's doing the program, one of the Chinese historians doing the program, but he speaks English.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to do a print party and show how prints are made. So the aspect that they want me to contribute to this thing is showing how woodblock prints are made. So they want to shoot me doing this, sitting here for a bit, and then do a print party so they can see how the prints are physically made.
Got it.
Do I think this is politically safe enough to be associated with, or what? Or I'm going to have my face associated with a program that is going to be anti-Japanese or something? I don't know.
Interesting.
Very quiet out there this morning, is it?
Yeah. Someone brought up a touchy subject, then everyone got silent. But we've got a new thing.
I see.
Okay, Maru Marushi says, I noticed when I was in Japan that a good number of, quote, Japanese things were actually taken from China. That was something even Japan won't deny, that it was sending envoys to China to go and... Convoy? I don't know. To go and learn from the mainland's culture and bring it over the course of hundreds of years.
There before, civilization got going here, of course. It was the core of Asian civilization over there.
Yeah.
I mean, our very word kanji that we use to describe the writing text means Chinese characters.
Yeah.
Kanji.
Yep.
Not everything that happened in Japan came directly from there. The writing system did. The language didn't. The spoken language is nothing derived from Chinese. These woodblock prints we make, the concept is clearly China had the idea first. But because the materials and geography was so different, here the paper was different, the prints evolved in a totally different way than the Chinese woodblock prints. So not everything in Japan is Chinese-based or of Chinese origin, but a lot of it is, of course. China through Korea, through Japan. So the three cultures are hugely interconnected and overplayed, with Japan being at sort of the end of the chain here. So it was the last one to the party for geographical reasons, obviously. Mainland Asia, out to Korea, then out to the islands out here. So those two cultures are quite proud of this, the fact that they had a lot of this stuff first, whatever. Like it matters, but whatever. You hold on to what you want to hold on to.
And then everything gets changed as it gets reinterpreted and moved from one place to the other. And don't forget Taiwan, someone says. Yeah, lots of areas all around Asia, all kind of shared culture that derived a lot of things from mainland China. Bird Ghost asks, what is the difference between blocks used in China and blocks used in Japan?
Oh, it's a massively different system. But the only thing that's the same is that we're talking about wood chopped into a shape, some kind of pigment on top, and some kind of paper. I mean, that's about the only thing that's the same. It's completely different. So whatever, it's another place for a lecture, but the simplest difference is this, in that before woodblock printing started in both places, I mean, woodblock printing is only a few hundred years back. In Japan, it really got going in the late 1600s and early 1700s. The Chinese examples are earlier. Clearly, the Chinese examples are earlier. But paper making long predated printmaking. There was paper in both countries long before there was printmaking. And it was the different way they made paper that really affected what happened to printmaking once it got started. Chinese paper from way back has been, the generic name for it is hanshi, the kind of stuff you'd see today, like thin calligraphy paper.
Right.
It's a very thin sheet of paper you put down on your table, you weight it at one end, you draw your calligraphy on it. That's what their paper was, 100%, intended for use for. Japanese paper, there's different plants here and a different way of paper making grew up right back from even the Heian era, long before printmaking existed. There was thicker, more luscious paper here. Just for some reason, the climate perhaps, or the cultural mood or whatever, they made paper in a different way. And even though printmaking wasn't thought of yet, the paper was thick and deep and rich and luscious, much more expensive too. Then when printmaking did come along, when the idea of printmaking came along, in China, because the paper was relatively thin and quite flimsy, it wasn't really practical to do multiple colors in the same area. You couldn't take a yellow and overprint it with blue and make green, stuff like this, because the paper wouldn't physically survive the process. So their kind of printmaking came up with bold colors placed side by side, rather than layered up on top of each other. And again, because of the paper being different.
Yeah.
And when the Japanese, clearly the Japanese must have saw these early prints from China, because the Chinese ones predated them. People here started saying, okay, let's try playing with this, let's do some things. But because the paper was so different, the results of their testing and experimentation and building and making stuff turned out a different way. It turned out you could layer color. You could print a yellow and then print a blue on top to make green and print something on top, because the paper was so different. And that's the thing we now know as ukiyo-e printmaking, the spectacular color layering, very high level of registration and finesse. This was possible in part because of the quality of the paper that was the underlying thing, which the Chinese didn't have. Then on top of this, you've got cultural things, like the Japanese clearly want to do things super carefully and fine in a refined, delicate manner, more so than Chinese craftsmen, who are a different approach, quite rougher. And so based on those things, those differences, the printmaking in the two countries grew in completely different ways.
Yeah, it's amazing that it is that printmaking is such a new idea relative to other image making.
Yeah. It's really new. This ukiyo-e thing here is not that old. The earliest color ones are 1710, or the first ones are 1710 or something. It got flourishing about the 1730s. It's not that old. This is not ancient stuff. And color printing existed in Europe before it existed here in Japan. The Europeans had it. They had some spectacular wood engraving and wood cutting and woodblock printing
Yeah.
before the Japanese got going on it.
Is this one the last block to be carved in the print set? No, a couple more.
Yeah, 3 more, I think. Yeah.
Okay. But I think I remember you saying the others aren't so finely
I'm
detailed,
trying
so
to
they'll
do
be a
detailed
little
ones,
quicker.
yeah. So.
Yes. Sorry if this has been asked before, but how did you get into woodblock printing? You just made 2 long videos about it, so I suggest check some of those out. We'll be a little more thorough than we can be in our remaining couple minutes on the stream. Ohayou gozaimasu.
情はどうですか?
Well, you're in for the parties, right? So.
Japanese pigments are water-based. Someone asked.
Well,
for the most part.
in this tradition.
Yeah, in this tradition.
Japanese pigments are pigments. They do
Right.
whatever they want.
Yeah.
Cameron, how are we doing for time?
9:28.
28, okay. What's the schedule here? Today is, I still don't know what day it is. Today's Friday. We just had a sizing stream yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking tomorrow's stream will probably be right here
Yeah.
on this same block, I think. Just continuing with the same thing.
Yeah.
Unless I get Superman mode this afternoon and get this thing finished.
Yeah.
By the time, I don't know. It's going to be another busy day here, I think.
Yeah,
The online stuff does not stop. That
Nope. I've taken a look peek at that. I saw how many orders came
flea
in.
market
overnight.
stuff overnight or just normal orders?
Yeah,
or-
I think a mix and payments for flea market ones that we sent out yesterday. Ohayou gozaimasu.
Hello, good morning. Hi, arigatou gozaimasu. Delivery from the post office.
はい、すみません、どうも。
Gozaimasu.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
What do you have today?
I'm not sure. There's a bunch of stuff coming. I don't really know what we've got there, but
Kuwahara-san, maybe?
it's just an auction.
Yeah, an auction to get them.
Yep. I'm not sure what's inside. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Cameron, let's sign off here.
Okay.
I've got to get the shop ready. They probably want an unboxing, but no, it's okay. It's
Of course.
good. We've had our show and tell this morning. That's okay. Okay, gang. I'll
A
be back
delivery
here.
person without a face mask. Delivery person without a face mask lately. Sorry, I interrupt you.
Is that? Yeah. I don't. Is that a thing? I don't.
Yeah, lately everyone's been coming in with the face mask.
Taximan guys don't
called.
usually wear masks. I don't think.
Yeah.
Do they? I don't know.
I think people have just all had colds. It's the beginning of winter,
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of. So, all right, so we'll
So
wrap
it's
up.
off here. So I'll be back here, same time, same station tomorrow morning. Might even get this thing finished tomorrow. Who knows? Look at that. It's all the twigs that are left
Yeah.
there. So that means there might be some noisy stuff tomorrow. Banging.
Okay, Yep.
Who knows?
Clearing all the empty
Yeah.
spots. Okay.
See you tomorrow, gang. Thank you very much.
See you later. Thanks.